रोशनी का कारवां।
This podcast is brought to you by BarrierBreak Solutions Pvt.Ltd and Score Foundation.
ये है रोशनी, रोशनी, रोशनी का कारवां, रोशनी। Eyeway, ये है रोशनी का कारवां।
Hi, my name is George Abraham and welcome to Eyeway Conversations. My guest today is David Absalom, who is the Honorary General Secretary of the Indian Blind Sports Association and the Asia Continental Chairperson of IBSA, which is International Blind Sports Federation. So, David, you've been connected with blind sports for a long time. So, can you kind of begin by giving a brief bird's eye view into what is the blind sports scenario in our country?
It starts from 1982 when India hosted Asian Games and Delhi with a lot of teams coming from abroad and participating. A lot of buzz happened. So the founders of Blind Relief Association thought, why not sports for visually impaired? So they started the IBSA, Indian Blind Sports Association, in 1986 because there was a lot of things thereafter that a lot of discussion happened, a lot of people came in. And we are the oldest sports body in India working for disabled sports at that time. We were specifically for visually impaired. We work for specifically visually impaired. Thereafter, we were part of a International Blind Sports Federation, and we become country member for International Blind Sports Federation. And then gradually, a lot of things came in, a lot of professionalism came in, a lot of we started going abroad, participating in the events, understood the international rules and regulation, which IBSA started reaching out to the grassroots level and training people for the sports.
I first got to know and encountered IBSA in 1989 when there was an athletics meet which happened in Delhi.
Yes, sir.
So I just want to know what have been the activities of IBSA in terms of engaging blind people in sport and in promoting sports. What are the specific activities that you have done over the years?
Yes. So IBSA, every second year we conduct national sports meet, and today we have 247 members, 27 states we have presence. We don't have a state bodies, but we have a members. We are getting into the state level bodies creating part of it. We're working on it. But the national sports meet is primarily for athletics. That just means the field event and the track event.
Yeah.
Okay. When I say track event, it's 100 meter, 200, 200, 400, 800, 1500, 5000, and the relays 4 into 100, 4 into 400.
Yeah.
Those are the track events. And when you talk about the field events, then we have a long jump, short put, javelin, discus. These are the events on the field events, which we do it, and which is also standard in the international level also.
Right.
So we are doing it. Apart from that, we have a team events like five-a-side football, goal ball. We also do tennis, long tennis, and kabaddi. Kabaddi, which is an Indian sport. It's very popular in North India and Southern India. So we have set rules for IBSA rules for kabaddi, and I'm trying to take this forward in an Asia level, because if I really want to bring it to the international level, it has to be 28 countries playing the sports. Asia, it's very popular. Individually in Pakistan, they are playing. Iran, they are playing. Nepal, they are playing. Myanmar, they are playing. Sri Lanka, they are playing. Thailand, not much, but very less sports. So I'm trying to reach out Asian countries to take kabaddi in the international levels, which I'm working on it. This is the basic form of games which we are working, and we try to keep bringing new games which is played popular internationally, bring it to India and try to reach out that bring the games in India.
If you know of anyone with vision impairment who needs guidance on living life with blindness, please share the Eyeway National Toll-Free Helpline number 18005320 469. The number is 1800 5320 469.
So you talked about events that IBSA organizes. You said every 2 years you have events, track and field. Obviously there are 27 states that participate, and you have members, which are, I guess, organizations in all these states who send their teams. But how do you actually ensure that the quality of athletes keeps rising? Do you have a kind of organized coaching facility or coaching program? Do you have, and now that you also participate in international events, do you have a talent scouting kind of program? How do you go about all that?
Okay, a very good question. Thank you for that. I said every alternative, the year in between, we organize coaching camp and the team events. So it's 1 year team events and the next year the national sports meet. So the team events, the coaching camp, what I do is very specifically, I call for coaches and trainers, coaches in India, if you say that metro cities as a coaches who are working for a normal sports, try to help visually impaired sports. There are very few qualified coaches for that matter. Otherwise, they qualify. When I say qualify, means they need to understand the blind sports rules and regulations. It differs from a normal sports and blind sports. Okay. So the coaches, we bring them in to the Delhi. We coach them for 7 days. That is a very intensive coaching where we teach them the new rules and the coaching methodology. You will be very surprised to know that many people don't even understand the cool down, the importance of cool down. When you do the sports, you have to give your body the cool down method. So if you don't follow the rules for that, it will harm your body. They don't do it. So we teach all this importance. And when I was in Calcutta for last few days of the coaching camp happened there, the girls, I find the talent of the girls, which is very good. One girl, throw the shot put, I think 7-8 meters, which is a very good distance. So this is how I try to reach out the level. Now, I'm saying I'm not still happy with the kind of a regional coaching camp. I want to go to the micro level that reach out to the cities. There are cities like Mangalore. There are cities like, because the Mangalore and all, there are a lot of activities, sports activities. They're very active in sports. Or in that case, you go to Jharkhand. There are girls who are from the rural tribal girls who are very good in sports. They not get opportunity to reach to even Jharkhand headquarters in Ranchi also. So I find that it's now important for me to go to the state capitals and trying to reach out as many as girls coming in, training them and coaching them. Now we will also be going for a boys coaching camp together. Parallelly we'll do it. So that's how I plan to reach out the sports in rural area and bring new talent, scout the talents. There are a lot of talents. I find very good 2 talents in Calcutta, which were wrong. They never participated in a sports event. But when they learn the sports, when they learn the rules, they promise me they will practice and they'll come for the national. I will be very happy to see that.
To support our work with the blind and visually impaired, you can visit the donate page on our website www.scorefoundation.org.in. Please note www.scorefoundation.org.in.
So, when you talk about blindness, you have people who are totally blind. There are people who just have light perception. You have people who have vision, which is partial. They can see a little bit. There are also people who, who are categorized as low vision. So I'm sure when you organize events, all these people don't take part in the same event. There must be some kind of sight classification and categories in which these athletes participate. So can you tell us a little bit about what is the sight classification and what are the categories under which these players play? Because in cricket, I note that there are B1, B2 and B3 categories. and there are quotas in a playing 11 for these B1, B2, B3. So in athletics and track and field events, what is the site classification oblique categorization?
Yes, broadly, site classification is your vision, level of vision which you can see and play the games. If I go into the detail about it, now internationally it has been defined in a different way. The track events, it becomes T11, 12, and 13. If it is a field event, if it is field 11, F11, F12, and F13. If it is a judo, it is J11, J1, and J2. That way it is clearly defined.
So what is T 11, 12, 13?
That means T means track event 11. 11 is your class, that is B1 in your raw layman language. B11 B1 becomes T11 when a person participates in a track event.
Yeah.
So B11 becomes field event if a person participating in a field event. When, as I said, field event is shot put, javelin, and discus. Yeah. That becomes F11. Yeah. When a same player or player goes and plays the judo has got two categories. That is J1, J2. That's it. J3 and J2 played and put it in together. Okay. Or earlier, maybe a year back, there was no classification for judo. They do the classification, they give the medal accordingly, but anybody can play with anyone. So what happened? What used to happen is that B1 used to play with B3. Yeah. So with the vision of because judo you have to hold the person before you start the bout. Right. Okay. And the spur of a moment, the split of the second, the B3 push him down and then plug him, turn him. That's it. Over. Yeah. Game over. And there was a research done. That research shows that the B3 won maximum medals in the gold medals. Yeah. B2 less and B3 very few. B1 I think B1 was 7 or 8 gold, nothing. That's all. Right. So there was a lot of discrepancy happening due to the vision class. So now in the month of December, the IBSA, the supreme body, now looking after the site classification, be it IBSA, be it anybody. So they defined very clear rules, and rules has been changed now. That's what I'm talking about T11, F1. Earlier I used to talk about T11, T12 for all categories. Yeah. Now they've changed the category in such a way. And then now about the site classification, as you said, T11 is no light perception. It's completely, totally blind. And then that person, once it's checked, he has been given confirmed certificate. He need not to come back for classification after that. That is one. If it is T12, light perception, but light perception also have a range. The IBSA has given a clear chart where they measure and then find out they come into which class. Based on that only they give a T11 or T12. So that has been defined. T13 is the category which is a very tricky category. Yeah. Now we say low vision. Low vision means a person can read a newspaper headlines. Yeah. Okay. But now the chart says if the person is 6/2, he comes into the category. 6/3, he comes into the 6/4, 5, 6 with the vision on checking. If the classifier decides that he can play in T13, he cannot play. So now there is one more class came in, that is any, not eligible. Okay. So we do a lot of not eligible, and then surprisingly, one-eyed is not. One-eyed person is not eligible to play sports because it doesn't come under sports category. Yeah. Even though he may have, because one eye is already damaged, and the second eye maybe lost some eyes. We check them and they confirm then whether that person. Off late, the people with one eye used to play the game and they used to try motorcycle also. Yes. But he is a disabled person. He is disabled. There's no question of his non-disability. He can avail all possible rules from a government of, government rules and everything. But he is not eligible to play the sports. So now that has been changed. I'll give you one example. Recently in Bhubaneswar, we did the Paralympic Committee of National Athletic Championship. Yeah. Very recently held in 20th to 20. It's 28th to 31st. We were there for the site classification. This is the first time in history of Paralympic Games we did 17 NE. I mean, you can imagine the range. If a person with that class, 13 class, who's prescribed class is playing with a person who can see much more than that, obviously that person will win. But the losses happen to that person who is not able to see it.
Mm.
So that's what the IPC made it very clear. Now we are doing that one. Now IPC has got two states now. They defined it very clearly. Then a classified with experience, with certain number of experience in a blind sport is qualified as a IPC classifier. That's international classifier. He or she can travel across the world, do the classification events happening across the world. And then we have NPC classifier. That's National Para Committee. As IBSA also Para Sports Committee. So we are NPC. So we have three classified. NPC classified would qualify, and they have to work 2 years in the field doing classification, and then they will be write an examination, and then once they qualify the examination, they can go for a IPC classified because that will help them. That will help them.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask. Yeah, I'll just ask you a question here, which is that there are, sport is covered so widely on television and radio, and there are a lot of blind people who grow up who are outside the blind school, blind organizations for the blind kind of setup. They're maybe growing up in the mainstream. They're probably homebound. Now they want to participate in sport. So how would they actually, because, we run this Eyeway helpline and we get a lot of calls where people say that, look, I want to play football, or I want to take part in athletics. So how would you advise them to go about their passion if they are interested and they want to get into these competitions? What would they need to do?
So they need to follow IBSA Facebook page and Insta page. Facebook page, we post all the events when we start, sending the information across our members. So they can follow the IBSA page, and if they want to know specific about it, they can write to me on a mail ID IBSA@gmail.com. I will be happy to respond their questions, and I will be happy to guide them for the sports. We all are working to promote sports. Yeah.
Yeah, but if they are not part of an organization, you have 247 members, you said. These are all member organizations. So if they are outside this network of organization and they want to participate, how would they get into these events?
Yes, very good question. So what I will do I will connect them with the organization who are our member, and I'll advise them to make him part of the team and travel to Delhi for the travel nationals, be it Delhi or anyway. This way we are planning to go out of Delhi and conduct the sports. So they can get in touch with me, and I can connect with them with the state bodies or that units where they are working, school or organization. You will be surprised to know that, not all the members are schools, institutions. There are colleges. There are students who are passed out. Now they formed their own group and they are participating in sports because they have so enthusiasm about the sports. They don't want to leave the sports. So there is a way to participate in nationals. So they don't have to worry about. They need to just contact me. I will make sure that they connect with the right organization, and then they participate in the national sports.
Now, people who want to, like swimming is another sport which a lot of blind people are interested in, and they can do it. Does IBSA also conduct swimming competitions?
No, we are not doing it under PCI. Swimming is now become an IPC sports. So under PCI, swimming is happening, and we are going to be part of the site classification for the swimming also. So again, if it is they really want to learn about, they can get in touch with me. I can connect to the right person, and then they can get into the sports. Not a problem, and I can ask the PCI state bodies also to include them.
There are also people who might not necessarily want to be part of a competition or whatever. They would like to do sport on a day-to-day basis. So is there an infrastructure available? Are there professionals available to guide them and lead them?
We have 3-4 professionals who have been qualified in IPC sport. They are, I think, A1 class coaches. So
Yeah.
if they write to me, then I'll connect with them and they can advise.
Yeah. Okay. The other thing is now you mentioned 1982 is when this whole movement kind of started and took direction. And every sporting movement, there are stars, which are high level performers and who actually become inspiration for other younger people. And I think since 2016, I think when the Rio Olympics happened, that is when I think the Paralympics and blind sport and disability sport got a fair bit of media coverage, and people started talking about medal winners and all that. So, who are the stars in the blind sport arena? Can you talk about some of them?
Yes, yeah. In fact, you rightly said that Rio was a, uh, I would say fruit, hard work fruit came out in Rio, because Ankur Dama was the first visually impaired athlete who was able to participate in Paralympics. He was the first in India. And thereafter, we had recently got one girl participating from Uttar Pradesh in a track and field event. It is tough to participate in an international event because India gets a quota. The quota depends that it's been given by IBSA. To qualify to that level, itself is a great success. Unfortunately, he got hurt and he fell down. He couldn't complete the race because the other player spikes came on his foot and he got injury and then came out. He came out fourth. So he is a star for that matter. I would say he is the star for IBSA because he studied in our school in JPM Senior Secondary School. He had got very good guide. We have a coach, Dronacharya Awadi, Dr. Satyapal, who has guided him, coached him, trained him. You would be surprised to know that he was living with him at his place to just make sure that he is doing his job very well till he reaches the Rio. Now he became a first Sai visually impaired coach in Delhi, working in Jawaharlal Nehru Stadium.
Who Ankur Dama?
Ankur Dama. He is presently a coach for Sports Authority of India, Jawaharlal Nehru Stadium.
Right.
We also have Avnil, who has been to Asia. He won an Asia medal. There are, lot of players who has, participated in Asian level, got medals. And government also, support them with a prize award, cash prize award in a national state body and in central government also. So now this blind sports has been recognized. There are professional sports person who are working, in the sports arena and doing a lot of work. And it is very encouraging to see that one. The way we started in 82, we never thought we will be part of the Paralympic. But the hard work done over the year by the general secretaries or the coaches or each one of the committee members put a lot of effort to reach out that level. That's how we are able to do that one.
So going forward, what is it that you think needs to be done to actually make sporting opportunities available for every blind person in the country, and in terms of facilities, in terms of coaching, and in terms of opportunities to participate? What is it that needs to be done further to make this happen?
See, since it's now becoming a very professional sport, in all respect, in coaching, in a training, and on a, you talk to these people, they always say about MQS, minimum qualifying standard. Things like that. They all know who is his competitor and international also. So that much awareness is created. Thanks to the net, of course, with the visually impaired, they log in, they find out, they know it. Even in the national sports also, they know who's their competitor in Haryana or from Rajasthan or from any other states. What is their speed? How far they need to excel to beat that person. So that's very heartening to see that the people are taking so seriously the sports. And we, as a sports body, needs to work to reach out more towards the girls' sport. That's one I'm taking up, and I'm really working hard to get that level. You will be surprised to know that even in the international sports also, if the total participation of 900 athletes across the world, the girls have only 250 or 300 numbers. They don't have some sports, they don't even have 3 players. Imagine that's a standard of blind sports for girls. Because the schools are not willing to take over sports person, the coach or teacher or not, parents are not willing to send the girls for the sports. They don't want to travel the girls to the national or anywhere else because the awareness or the fear in their mind. Maybe society, there's a lot of issues. Let us not talk about that. But all said and done, if those girls are come to know or learn the sports, they will make their way to reach the nationals. Once they are in the national, the talents can be identified and then we can put specific coaching to them and then take them to the international level. So if you really want to win a medal, let us work, and I need to work or pledge everyone to support us to make the girls' sports more wider, bring new talents, train them, and take them to the international level. India will win a lot of medals, even in Paralympics. You can imagine there was 27 of the Indian contingents, and there were one girl of visual impaired.
For the Tokyo Olympics.
Yes. So we need to work in that level. So if anybody who's listening this conversation, if you know a person who's training, really want to excel in sports, please get in touch with it. We will support you. We will support you. Whatever way we can do it, we will do it.
Can you repeat your email ID once?
So anyone can contact me in India. So you can put INDIBSA@gmail.com. I'll also share my mobile number. Please send a message to me instead of calling me. I would surely reply you on WhatsApp and in a message. So my number is 9953494419. I'll repeat my number. It's 9953494419. Please send me a WhatsApp message or a message. I'll surely call you back or refer you to the right person. In sports, we all need to work together to reach a higher level.
Yeah, I think, I would also brief the counselors of Eyeway that, if there are calls coming in for sports, they should kind of connect with you on email or on your mobile number. So thank you very much, David, for spending this time and sharing your thoughts and enlightening us about the sports and how the movement is moved forward in India. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir, giving the opportunity. Bye, sir.
Eyeway, ये है रोशनी का कारवां.
This podcast was brought to you by BarrierBreak Solutions Pvt.Ltd and Score Foundation.
ये है रोशनी, रोशनी, रोशनी का